let's start off with let's start off the Nairobi Securities Exchange, dipping for 2 straight days last week, but overall nothing too serious to be concerned about, no?
Yeah, nothing to be concerned. I think the market is still holding up very well. If the market is trading above 3,800, which I think is quite impressive. Year to date, we're talking about over 16%, and I think the dip we saw in the last 2 days of last week, it's nothing to say it will threaten the trend that has been there. So I guess for this particular, we expect the market to still trend upwards. And perhaps maybe revisit its yearly high today, 38.95 by the close of the week. Yeah.
How did the large caps do? Most of the previous week they weren't doing too well. I don't know how last week turned out.
Yeah, in fact that contributed a lot with the dip we saw on Thursday and Friday. Okay, what we've seen is large caps majorly being supported by foreigners, and for those 2 particular days, the investors are out. Right. Those particular investors are out. That's why we kind of saw, the likes of EABL, the likes of Equity. We didn't see any much of activity in those 2 stocks, and for those 2 particular stocks has actually been driving the market. So I guess to answer your question, I guess the seeding out of those investors it didn't do well for the large caps.
In the absence of those equities and EABLs, we saw another star performance that was Kenya Power, which has rallied almost 15% in August.
15% in August, mainly because there's this announcement that came out, particularly last week, of the adjustment upwards of the foreign and fuel adjustment on the overall energy price.
We don't like that it's going to hike our prices 16%.
No one really, because that punches holes in your pocket.
Right.
But I guess the idea from the market is now this is going to improve the profitability of the year. So I guess the market is just reacting on that particular news.
And then Umeme's IPOs, the Ugandan power utility, set for somewhere in the 4th quarter of 2012. Yeah. So that would be the second time we're seeing, apart from Kenyan, obviously, a power utility coming on the market.
Yeah, sure. I think that will really bode well for the market, because I think if it comes through, then that will be like the second IPO in the market for this particular year. So I guess, and like we said in the previous time I was here, that the local exchange is deep enough for that particular firm to come list and get the monies that they want, and I think we're all waiting for it.
There's a company we discuss almost daily here on the show, and that is Kenya Airways, because there's just so much happening. Just to give a quick update for our viewers, one, the Prime Minister has said that Kenya Airways should not go ahead with its voluntary retirement scheme because, well, the workers are not too pleased with that. Secondly, Kenya Airways has taken today the first of its fully owned Embraer E190 jets. And thirdly, Kenya Airways executive pay apparently increased 24%. Well, which one do you want to go about? Pick any of them.
Well, let me just comment on the comment that the Prime Minister made. I think it's unfortunate because we don't like to see such comments being made on a publicly listed company, because we've seen what has been dragging the performance of that particular company has actually been costs, and 50% of its cost comes from its employees. So
because of those collective bargaining agreements, the unions have been very aggressive.
Yeah, sure, and the company is seemingly trying to move and trying to engage that particular cost, and this comment comes through. I think it's really discouraging from a market's point of view. I think it's going to even keep its share price really depressed for some time to come until we see the management it's let it run its own affairs. Regarding the acquisition of the Embraer 360, well, as you know, we are coming hot on the heels of they already have 170 million in the pockets right now.
Right.
And I think they better get started with the expansion plans, since they promised to double up their fleet, and they said actually half of those fleet will be short jet. I mean, they're jets in the form of Embraer. So I guess this would really quite help them in terms of consolidating their market, particularly in the region in Africa.
And let me also pick your brain. If you sat in the MPC when they meet on Wednesday, what would you be suggesting they do?
Well, I'll be suggesting for at least 300 basis points.
300 basis points. That is very steep.
Exactly, because I think, you know, inflation below, at 6% and the interest rate at 18%, 16.5, there's such a big gap there. So I think the inflation is coming down. Food prices seemingly, we think they're going to remain low for the next 6 months. So I guess it is in order to, you know, to cut by that much, yeah.
So you think the ideal rate is somewhere around 13%?
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. How is the shilling likely to react and to trade ahead of that announcement on Wednesday?
I think it's if the rate comes down, then we expect the shilling to firm up. We are beginning a new month, so I guess last week the usual end month dollar demand is over. So I guess we're likely to see a bit of firming up on the shilling for this particular week.